So hello and welcome to the feature match area. Top 8 time with Lucas Blohon against Kenneth Ellingsen from Norway. I'm your host Matej Zalka here with Dennis Rashid, and we're gonna have fun seeing Lucas Blohon's green-white deck.
Yeah,
try to kill his opponent.
If they start at any second now, we'll see if he can summon forth his Dromoka,
the Eternal,
best card in Lucas Blohon's deck. We haven't really seen what Ellingsen has drafted.
Yeah, Kenneth Ellingsen was sitting on the opposite side with Saber from Lucas Blohon, so we don't really know anything about how he's drafted. He finished his deck very soon, so we didn't quite get to see that. He starts off with a Frontier Bivouac, while there's a Sandstep Citadel from Lucas Blohon, and starts off with Einak Bonkin. We know he likes this one. Matched by Smoldering Ifrit.
So something aggressive from Ellingsen as well.
Speaking of aggressive, I just saw Cash Defenses. It's going to be very aggressive, yeah. Lucas Blohon wastes no time. Third turn, attack with a 5/4. Remember, bolts to 3 means that you'll just improve the only guy on your board by 3 counters. And it's a 5/4 first striker.
First striker, so it's not even possible to double block it with, say, a morph.
Kenneth Ellingsen is on blue-red, it seems, mainly. He's going to active Treason and swing back for 7. All right, that's a plan. Lucas Blohon down to 13.
Wow. An aggressive plan to do that turn 3. I guess he had nothing better to do.
Yeah, I mean, and Lucas Blohon now picked up a suspension field if Kenneth Ellingsen drops a good blocker. Let's see, Lucas Blohon, will he play a Dragon Bell Monk? Yep, that's what he does. Kenneth Ellingsen on 10. This game is super swingy already. We're only turn 4 and the players are at 10 to 13.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of risky to go for the cash defenses on your creature against the blue deck, because all the bounce spells you could have.
Yeah, of course.
But it is definitely paying off for Lucas Blohon here, because there's no whisk away in Kenneth's hand. There's no immediate answer to that huge creature.
But there's a Bloodfire Enforcer. It's actually one of the few big creatures that can't be exiled by suspension field because it has 2 toughness. It might explain why this sorcery was played. There's a Rush of Battle.
Yeah.
So meaning that it's already a lethal attack. And the Enforcer will probably trade with the Dragon Bell Monk here.
Yeah, well, he has to. It's that or Chump, and
both
as you mentioned, it does explain the act of treason. He was intending to put an instant in his graveyard to maybe trade with the Einak Bonkin.
He's
not
down
an
to
option
3
anymore.
Down to 3 with a Smoldering Ifrit, which is not the best blocker. And
Lucas needs to have maybe an Aven Surveyor here, or
something like that. Yeah. So Lucas Blohon down to 9. I see a Valley Dasher that wasn't. It's post combat. Good blocker.
Post-combat Valley Dasher, never something you want to see.
And Lucas Blohon even has 2 more creatures to follow that up with a Morph and a Highland Game. And there's a Chump block with the Valley Dasher. Lucas Blohon looking good to make the semifinals here, which is what he needs to make the Pro Tour in Brussels. The Vancouver one he's qualified for just by the virtue of being in the top 8, but he needs the Pro points to get the silver level he needs. Yep, and that's game 1. That was super fast, but it shows you exactly what Lucas Blohon wanted to do from what he saw in the draft. The 2-drop into maybe a 3-drop, or, well, cash defenses works as well.
That's absolutely huge. We've seen similar stuff in earlier formats, but a 2-drop into attacking for 5 turn 3 is hard to race.
Yep, it is indeed. So that was a very quick, that could be a quick top 8 in general. I mean, this top 8 has, I've seen some crazy decks there. I'll foreshadow a little to our viewers at home. We have a deck with 2 Goblin Slides in the main deck.
That seems pretty crazy.
That does seem pretty crazy. I wonder who's playing that deck.
Mad Genius, or someone that has no clue how to draft this format. Not
maybe
like either.
Yeah, you've seen Timothy Simino draft. I talked to him a little, and he said, "Oh, my deck's great. I drafted exactly what I wanted to draft." That's what he said, and we'll get to see that now. It's Timothy Simino on the right, and Nicolas Laban on the left. Both players at 18. Frontier Master and Alpine Grizzly. It looks like Timothy Simino is already down to 8.
Yeah,
that was a big swing. Yeah,
he just attacked for 10. Oof, but he does.
There's a triple Alpine Grizzly. There's a Valorous stance as well. Nicolas Blohon. I see why he was happy about that.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer to the otherwise very huge Ivory Tusk Fortress from Timothy.
Yeah, it's interestingly enough, we saw the base green-white decks from Lucas Blohon and Timothy Simino, who were sitting next to each other. Nicolas Blohon was the green-white player on the other side of the table. So that's why he could have picked up all the other goodies, like late Savage Punches and all those Alpine Grizzlies.
We see a second Savage Punch in his hand.
Yeah, now Valorous stands on the Ivory Tusk Fortress. Swing for 8. That should be lethal. That took a long time. A little slow roll from Nicolas Blohon, but he's up one game over Timothy Simino, so these are going thick and fast.
Yeah.
You're going to go home early.
Yeah,
at this pace.
At this pace, then absolutely. We'll see if the shuffling in between takes longer time than the matches.
That's just thick and fast. Alpine Grizzly, Frontier Mastodon, Savage Puncher, Creature Away Swing. And Timothy is looking to his sideboard. How am I going to deal with all of these cards?
Yeah, that's usually something you see out of the red-green decks with the Gore Swines and the Teamer Battle Rages, but of course you can go green-white as well. Yeah. Splash some black cards maybe.
So Lucas Blohon up a game, one game away from qualifying for effectively 3 Pro Tours. 2 this season and 1 more next season.
Yeah, well, one of them is already done, as you mentioned, so 2 extra.
Yep, it looks like a land-heavy hand from Lucas Blohon. He has plenty of lands, and I see a Sandstep Citadel, but he's on the draw. He could probably keep this. I think he has Mardu Warchief as well, but it looked like at least 5 lands in his hand.
Yeah, not something you keep with a deck with an aggressive plan like Lucas Blohon. In fact, if you don't have a 2-drop in your 7, you would, unless it's like a very good 3-drop into 4-drop and a removal spell, then you probably mulligan that, because the deck cannot really operate too well if you do not stay on curve, unless, again, if you do have, let's say, a Dromoka, then that would be a keep.
Yeah, that's a great point, yeah.
But on 6, you can't really be as picky. Going down to 6, he's going to have to keep any 2-3 lands and a couple of creatures and spells, so we'll see what his deck offers him here.
Alright, so 6 cards for Lucas Blohon. Forest, Plains, Sandstep Citadel, Mardu Warchief, Einok Abzan Guide. That's fine.
Yep.
So
we do see that he opted to play the Abzan Guide, and he has the Citadel for it. And
so Valley Dasher, Lucas Blohon down to 18. Let's see, does he have 2-drop? No 2-drop. I think he's going to play that Mardu Warchief maybe on turn 3. He might wait.
Yeah, he could take another 2 from the Valley Dasher and just play the Morph.
Oh, no 3rd land from Kenneth Ellingsen though. So now that changes things. He goes for the Mardu Warchief straight away. It's forced away. That's very aggressive.
Ellingsen.
He did draw a land. And so Lucas Blohon down to 14. Putting on the pressure. What's next card? Meringue River Problem. Okay, now it makes sense.
It does make kind of sense, but still, that force away was used as a shock to the face.
Yeah, sure. There's a Mardu Warchief again, and with Feral Crusher and Abzan Guide in his hand. That's a dash of Goblin Heel Cutter.
Now it's better. Now
yeah, Lucas Blohon down to 7.
Make a lot more sense to force away that if you do have a Heel Cutter in hand.
Yep. So let's see, a kill shot. Okay, but he would need to play 2-drop to leave up also kill shot mana, which I don't think is going to happen. So now Lucas Blohon has to think about how he wants to play this. He's counting. He could play Morph, but he would then have to trade the Morph with the Heel Cutter. Yeah, and he would take 4, go down to 3. He really wants to start attacking with the Abzan Guide, which might be a problem. And we know Kenneth Ellingsen has full grip of cards. Any of those could really take care of it. So I think Lucas has to play the Crusher here.
No, actually, he goes for the Abzan Guide because he has to.
Oh, that's a great card.
He has an arrow.
That just changes everything.
Absolutely, because he can get online with the Abzan Guide next turn.
So he plays the Arashik Cloud, gains 3. I think he boarded that card in, seeing as his opponent's deck is also very aggressive. It gives him so much time, and now.
Did mention how that could be a sideboard card when he picked it, basically second to last pick, right?
And
this is the matchup. This is the matchup you want to leave 1-3 in.
So Lucas actually thinking of double blocking here. Scared of some tricks. He can't block the Meringue River Prowler, remember?
Yeah.
It can't be blocked and also can't block. Double block.
There are, in my opinion, no reason to not double block there.
Sure. Yeah, it's a very underrated thing. You just think like it is going to be enough, but why risk it? And Skullkin coming down, but now Lucas can unmorph that Abzan gain 4 more life. But he can't really do that much attacking against the. I mean, the Heel Cutter is going to come down and disable the 2-3 anyway. I guess.
So you might as well attack with it.
Yeah.
Turn it into a real race here.
So let's see if he goes for that, or maybe he can try to develop his board further. But if he doesn't, he'll maybe risk the Skullking killing the Morph. A lot of interesting lines. Simon, we have you here. Do you have any updates from the other matches?
I do. Marcio Carvalho wins game 1 against Andreas Johnson, and that was mostly because of Ghostfire Blade doing a really good job. Despite being limited on mana, the reducement on the equip cost was really crucial.
Yep. So Marcio, up game on your countrymen?
Sad news.
For you. But, I'm sure the Portuguese viewers are very happy about that. So we saw Lucas Blohon flip up that Abzan guide, putting Kenneth Ellingsen down to 16, himself up to 12. And let's see what Kenneth does here. He can dash out the Heel Cutter and swing for 7, put Lucas down to 5, maybe add a 2-drop to the board. But we know there's a Kill Shock and a Crush Shock in Lucas's hand, so definitely can do something the following turn. Abzan guide is such a huge player. The Lifelink. Wow.
Yeah. Kenneth needs to find an answer to that Abzan guide, even if it's an answer for just 1 or 2 turns, something like a Whisk Away or a Bounce. That could buy him enough time to finish off Lucas Blohon, but if he's going to connect each turn with an Abzan guide.
Okay, I know what Kenneth's plan is. He has a Mob Rule in his hand, plays the Goblin Heel Cutter here, and I think he's going to try to go for the win. Lucas can maybe play a land, an Alabaster Kirin, and leave up Kill Shot mana, which would probably maybe have him be safe against the Mob Rule as well.
It should be safe against
This
the
is
Mob
a
Rule
super
for
tense
sure.
match though. Lucas is only down to 8. He can go up to 12, make it 12 each. He's thinking about if he wants to attack with more with the Mardu Horsechief as well. Nope, declines to do so. So 12 each.
This is interesting because if he does play the 2 power here and the Mob Rule looks lethal.
He would take creatures with power 3 or less, so that means he could swing for 7, 8, 10 if Lucas plays the Kill Shot, because if Lucas does not have the Kill Shot, then it's lethal.
Yeah, exactly. It looks lethal from
yes.
Kenneth's perspective, so he might go for it here.
Doesn't have the 6th land though, it looks like. Leaves Skullkin back as well because it can't go through the Alabaster Kirin. And now Lucas thinking, did I play the Kill Shot here? Yeah, he goes for it.
Yeah, there's no enabler for that River Prowler, so he can't play it from the graveyard, not being Sultai, not having
black or green.
Black or green.
Black or green permanent, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
And you still have to play it for blue mana. Right, so this is decent for Lucas Blohon still. If the Abzan guide gets through, then it'll be 4 more life. Put him out of range of that mob rule. And he also has the Feral Crush Hog to split his creatures up a little bit between the ones with less power and the one with more. And or at least, okay, Kenneth has a blocker and Bloodfire Expert.
Not a card I would expect to see in his deck. A 0-5 in what looks to be a deck with Valley Dashers and Heel Cutters.
Agreed.
Maybe just was lacking playables and wanted to stay on a 2-color deck.
Yeah, from the players we've seen so far, it seems like there's a lot of green-white drafters, 3. Green-white decks. I mean, of course, Timothée is more black than white. And there's 2 Jeskai decks and a blue-red deck. It seems obvious like these decks were overdrafted, but a lot of power still. So Abzan Guide, Horde Chief, and Alabaster Kirin attack. Up 4 life for Lucas Blohon, up to 16, and Kenneth Ellingsen down to 10 after that trade, which is great for Lucas, I think. Now he can play the Crush Hog, pass the turn, and he's even safe from the Mob Rule.
Yeah.
Simon, do you have a result from maybe the Dang Uplinger game?
Good guess, Matej. Daniel Uplinger is down a game against Martin Dang. Martin Dang used the power of Orc Sure Shot to punish his opponent, who was working on a very restricted mana development, and Daniel Uplinger just couldn't keep up with the tempo and the removal of Orc Sure Shot.
All right, so Martin Dang Uplinger game on Daniel Uplinger. There we go. We saw that no Mardu decks, and now we see where those cards ended up. All right, so Kenneth Ellingsen does have his 6th land. However, the board got decimated so much that even if he takes the creatures with the higher power, he doesn't have a way to capitalize on it. And I think Lucas Blohon played this game really well.
He did, and he had that very, very clutch Arishin Cleric to not die.
That was so brutal.
Without that Cleric, he would have lost this game, I believe. But now it's just incredibly one-sided for Lucas Blohon instead. Just gaining that one turn, getting the Avalanche Guide active, hitting with Avalanche Guide 3 times. It has gained him 12 life so far.
Yeah, wow.
And Alabaster Kirin having Vigilance is also pretty relevant. He could do stuff like block the Avalanche Guide with the Skullkin, sacrifice the Skullkin to prevent Blohon from gaining any life, and then maybe take over the big creatures. And that's 9 damage there, and maybe try to do something, but that's going to be stopped by just Alabaster Kirin not tapping when it's attacking.
Yeah, and Luke is just swinging with everything. I mean,
that makes sense here.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything, but he'll just pressing his advantage, and Kenneth Ellingsen go down to 3. If he doesn't do anything, he doesn't. And with 6 lands, doesn't do anything. Simon, do you have a match result?
No, nothing like that, but I have a huge play I had to report on. Nicolas Laban against Timothy Simono. Timothy Simono attacked into Shambling Attendants, representing a trick. Nicolas Laban declined the block, but attacked next turn with his 3/5. Timothy Simono had the Sandblast. Nicolas Laban had the Dragon Scale boon in response. Timothy Simono one-upped him with the 2nd Sandblast in response, and Nicolas Laban uses the last 2 mana for Feat of Resistance. What a turn.
Wow, that is a sweet, sweet play. Feat of Resistance, definitely one of the cards that has been performing really well, as we see Khans of Tarkir move out of limited, basically, for the competitive play. So Kenneth Ellingsen actually played an Enhanced Awareness at the end of the turn, drew a Treasure Cruise as one of the cards.
I wonder if these are sideboarded cards, or is this his plan all along? Play some Valley Dashers early on and then start cruising?
Cruising for bruising, yeah. Exiled his whole graveyard to play the Treasure Cruise for 2 mana, I think. He still has 5 left, but I mean, even if he plays Mob Rule here, he can survive a little more. Let's just see what he plays in this turn. Yeah, a Bloodfire Expert, Leaping Master maybe? No, it looks like Leaping Master, so just creating enough blockers to try to survive here. If Lucas Blohon draws anything relevant, could be just the Einok Bondkin. So, Simon, you're back. This time with a match result?
I thought that Nicolas Laban was winning that game after that exchange. Timothy Simono untaps, draws, and other ends the 5/7 Shambling Attendants, then crushes Nicolas Laban with an unmorphed Woolly Loxodon. Timothy Simono takes the game.
So 1 game apiece in that match. Great.
Great stuff.
After we finish this, we're going to look at the game 3 of that match. So let's see. Lucas Blohon attacks with everything.
Still no reason to not, and even the Cleric getting in there for
for
possible
the beats.
trades or getting blocked by the Skullkin, of course, is opting to go down to 1.
So yeah, he will go down to front 1 from the Alabaster Kirin. The Arishin Cleric and Skullkin bounce. The Crusher trades with the 2 blockers, and Lucas Blohon goes up to 24 now from the Abzan Guide. Adds the Einok Bondkin to the board, and let's see if Kenneth Ellingsen can bounce back from this game. He does have Polar Delta, which is not using anytime soon. It looks like he drew.
I think a Valley Dasher number 2, or
I think it was a Heel Cutter.
Okay,
which is the same thing basically. Not affecting board.
He can survive for 1 more turn. I think.
He has a Valley Dash. You were right.
So if he plays that post combat, he can survive for at least 1 more turn by blocking the Skullkin on the Alabaster Kirin and sacrificing it to kill the Bondkin. and blocking the 2 other creatures. He can block the Value Dasher on the Cleric and the Mentor on the Abzan Guide. So at least 1 more turn.
Yeah, he's surviving, but just barely.
Yeah, and the Dasher will have to attack the following turn.
Yes.
Straight into a Alabaster Cairn if Lucas even wants to risk a block.
Yeah, and I think what Kenneth would like to do is play Mob Brew, not play Mob Brew, but cycle with the Buttfire 05.
Yeah.
Just because he has lands in hand that he can't use, but he needs to play the Valley Dash and sacrifice the Skullkin. He needs to do a lot of things at once.
He's not going to be activating that Bloodfire Mentor.
Yep, so Valley Dash post-combat.
Assumingly post-combat, right?
Yeah,
we can't really hear the players, but...
Yeah, that was post-combat. It's now past the turn, and there's a Dragon Bell Monk, and I think Lucas is going to attack with everything here, trying to force Skullkin to chomp and shoot the 2-1, Valley Dasher blocking the 1-3, and the 0-5 blocking the 4-4, we assume.
Yeah, and leaving Ellingsen with a board where he has to answer a flyer and put another creature into play because Lucas drew yet another creature. Because the Valley Dasher, of course, has to attack, so it's not going to be blocking any future turns here. We'll see. Maybe if he has something like a Water Whirl or Will of the Naga, maybe he can buy some more turns.
Yeah, maybe. There's an attack, and I think we're going to do the blocks as we had predicted them. Yep, so there's the only relevant block for Kenneth Ellingsen. Skullkin's away the 2-1. The other creatures bounce off of each other, so Kenneth Ellingsen still won. Lucas Blohon 28. As good of a card Mob Rule is, it was exactly 1 kill shot away from winning the game, basically. So Kenneth Ellingsen on the back foot.
He didn't even draw the land for that turn.
Yeah, they're both players already chuckling. He's like, I've been surviving for so long, but I think this is over. And Lucas Blohon on his way to Brussels, Vancouver, and Milwaukee with this advancement into the semifinals. His pro point total going above the 20 threshold to make the silver level status.
Don't count your eggs yet. Let's see what Kenneth has to say about this.
Let's see. Mob Rule. Okay.
You have like some collateral damage stuff.
No, you can take
on?
the Abzan Guide and gain some life back. Some attacks here. I think Lucas he can kill the Value Dasher, but he might not even. No, he's just going to take the 6. He doesn't want to risk his Alabaster killing falling into a small trick.
Yeah, going down to the precarious life total of 22.
Very dangerous. I mean, that Abzan Guide has rocked this game. I mean, he won the game together with the kill shot
and together with the Arashin Cleric MVP.
There's the handshake. Lucas Blohon does it and gets the semi-finals he needs, and he was hoping for a long time. Wow, his teammates, just as me, must be really happy. I mean, we were all tweeting all throughout the weekend supporting Lucas Blohon, and he's been on a great winning streak. I mean, he hasn't lost today. I think he went 8-1 into day 2, went 5 wins and a draw into the top 8. Now winning again.
Impressive stuff.
Yeah, I think he lost like round 4 or 5.
Wow.
Yeah, because then he noticed he's misbuilding his deck. He misbuilt his deck, sideboarded into a much different one that worked really well, and he just kept winning post-sideboard matches. So there we go. Timothée Simonas, Nicolas Laban. I think the names are reversed. We're fixing that because we have Timothée Simonas on the right and Nicolas Laban on the left. And look, Nicolas just with double forest, while Timothée has all the right colored mana and also has a Rakshasa Death Dealer.
Pretty good turn 2 here if he wants to play it into anything. But there's no really debilitating injuries in the opposing side, so why not just run it out? Matches up well against the Alpine Grizzly.
Indeed. You can block it, regenerate. There's a Sandblast as well. It doesn't play a Plains though. Wants to play lands probably, right, for the Rakshasa Death Dealer?
Yeah. He's intending to play a Morph or something here. Not going to use the Sandblast, so might as well play the Forest.
Past the turn even.
Does pass the turn, which...
no lands for Nicolas Blohon. Doesn't have white, doesn't have black, doesn't have any lands, and with his elite scale guard in his hand, I'm sure he would love to have some land. And Feral Crusher, Savage Punch. Yeah, there's the Rakshasa Death Dealer swinging for 2. Blohon down to 18. And now Timothy Simon plays the 2-drop and Sultai Emissary. So still can't use the Savage Punch well. Sighing heavily. There's a Frontier Mastodon. That'll be something. That's a 4-3. As he attacks with his Alpine Grizzly into the Sultai Emissary. I think Timothy is going to take the chump block here and create a 2-2. Simon, we have some matches at 1-1. We have some others where one player has won a game. So match results?
Match result. Marcio Carvalho beats Andreas Johnson. He took his time, but after a while, his larger creatures and the Dragon Scale Boons were better than the Jeskai spell-based deck. I think a well-deserved victory, and it's actually, that means Marcio Carvalho is the player that's going to match up against the winner of the match you're just watching.
Exactly, that's how the bracket works out. So Marcio Carvalho will play against the winner of the match between Simino and Laban, while Blohon will play the winner of Dang against Opliger.
Marcio Carvalho handing Johnson the first loss of the weekend.
Indeed, he had 12 wins and 3 draws.
Yeah. Well, good run from Johnson, and we'll see him in Pro Tour Vancouver.
Yep, that is Pro Tour Magic Origins.
Yep.
At the end of July. Exciting stuff.
See what he can do there.
I wonder if we will see you there.
I wonder so myself. I'm not even qualified, so we'll see.
We have another Swede, another reason to go.
Yeah, sure. I'll do my best. Now, looking back here, the Mastodon will block the manifest creature, but will get sandblasted.
Yeah, and Timothy Simino leaves back the Rakshasa Death Dealer because he knows it's such a great way to deal with the Alpine Grizzly.
And of course he knows about the multiple Savage Punches of his opponent, so he has played around that from the beginning. Yep.
Nicolas Blohon probably just wants to draw one more land to get the Elite Scale Guard going. I think he also has Feet of Resistance as well as Sandblast.
And a Savage Punch.
Savage Punch, yes. I'm not sure about the Feet of Resistance. He does have it.
A very stacked hand for him. Timothy does have a few cards of his own. There's 1 land and 3 spells. Sagu Archer,
Woolly Loxodon, and I think Shambling Intendants that you could play. So, all solid cards. This is going to be a long game.
And Death Dealer is a good card in the long games. Pretty hard to answer in a green-white deck. You need to have something like
Scale Guard, tap it.
Scale Guard, tap it. That will shut it down its defenses, but can still attack with it.
Yep, there's a swing with the Rakshasa Death Dealer for 2. I think Timothy is playing this really well. The whole game, when he has to attack with which creature and when he has to stay back.
Yep.
I really like the way he's going about it. So we have Lucas Blohon and Marcio Carvalho already advancing. The winner of this game will advance to the quarterfinals, face Marcio Carvalho. And in the last match, Martin Dang is up a game on Daniel Opliger. So here's a morph. We know that's the Woolly Loxodon. And let's see, Nicolas Blohon doesn't do anything here. Can he draw the land here? He's delaying it if he did draw it. It might have been the Valor Stance. Yeah, it is the Valor Stance. Some great cards, but not really a good way to use them. And like, there's a Savage Punch, Alpine Grizzly, and the Morph.
Which is the Sagu Archer.
It is a Sagu, so not the Woolly Loxodon. Saving that one for later. And is Nicolas Blohon attacking here? Yeah, it's a 6-2. Why not? 6-4. There's a block. Interesting. What is going on here? And I think Nicolas Blohon can be like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, so that was just a chump block, it looks like. No Ruthless Ripper.
Isn't that a trade?
Oh yeah, it's a 6-4. That was dealt some damage to it, so of course, yes, you're right.
And Timothy is also asking, that's damage then? Laban has not played a Feat of Resistance.
Not yet. Yeah, remember, I keep forgetting about the fact that when you Savage Punch, it's still a fight, so there's damage dealt to the creature, so yeah. They kind of rewind a little bit here, as Lucas Blohon has not decided if he wants to play Valor stance, maybe feet of resistance. I'd go with defeat, put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yeah.
Make the elite skill guard really good the next turn. Make it a 4/5, have 2 creatures with that ability.
Defeat does not play around a Defiant Strike though.
No?
Because it's a colorless creature.
It's a colorless creature, indeed. Yep, so that's a protection, so it's going to grow even bigger. So now he has a 5/3 Alpine Grizzly. And now I think Timothée is still in fine shape. He has Shambling Attendants, he has Woolly Loxodon, but with a Valorous stance and the Elite Skill Guard and Lucas Blohon at 10, he can make a proper game out of this.
Absolutely. He has played around the removal for the Rakshasa Death Dealer. We could see him getting a bit more aggressive now because he has wasted one of the Savage Punches. We'll see what Timothée opts to do.
All right, so we have Simon here again. So do we have our third quarterfinalist?
Semi-finalist even. Martin Dang wins the match against Daniel Opplinger. It was quite an interesting game where Martin was racing on the ground and Daniel was racing in the air. And ultimately it was a Mind Swipe for 5 and a Master the Way that basically turned around the damage race quite substantially.
Wow, that's a big game. So Master the Way.
Mind Swipe.
Yeah, Mind Swipe. There's a Shambling Attendant. No land for Lucas Blohon. Elite Skill would have been great on this board. So I think he will have to be satisfied with either Sandblasting or Valor stancing the Shambling Attendants. But the Rakshasa Death Dealer can grow to very big proportions. It's quite fast. So it's a swing. It's a swing. Maybe a trade, Timothée. What do you think about that?
Looks like he opts for like he would that he would rather use the Sandblast here.
Yep. So he's probably going to use the Sandblast on defensive here, but if Timothée starts tapping mana for the Rakshasa Death Dealer and popping it, we might see the Valorous stance being used in the other play. I think it's very interesting how you sequence your spells, and especially with considering which removal spells each one knows about already from the previous games.
Yeah. Timothée has seen the Valor stance as well, so it's definitely in his thoughts, thinking about what to play around, what is worth to play around, and what he can play around.
I'm thinking hard. That's why he's taking time. Remember, this is the only game 3 we've had in the quarterfinals. The matches went by pretty fast.
This is the slowest matchup, and even so, there's a lot of huge swings in this matchup. So.
There's a Rakshasa Death Dealer attacking, probably just for 2 for now.
So Tim is not blocking nor attacking with the Shambling Attendants, expecting that Sandblast because of the way Blohon played it. And he is correct in expecting the Sandblast. Also, since Blohon is not making his land drops, Timothée knows that he has a lot of the cards he has already seen in hand. Yep.
So there's a Woolly Loxodon. There's the Archer's Parapet, and no cards for Timothée Simoneau. Just played out all his cards. He's up to 16, but has everything he needs. So there's a Valorous stance on the Shambling Attendants, and now Elite Skill Guard. He can play it here, but then he'll be on the receiving end of a ton of damage himself because the Woolly Loxodon can unmorph.
Using the Valorous stance there means that there's no real answer for the Woolly Loxodon.
Yeah, but a swing for 5. Putting Timothée down to 11. Next turn can also be a big swing. Yeah, this is a game that's going to go down to the wire. Timothée is not blocking anytime soon. However, he can start attacking. There's a debilitating injury, not that relevant on this board, just now.
Usually good against Alpine Grizzly, not in this case. The feat of resistance from earlier.
Yep. Yeah, interestingly enough, Timothée Simoneau is also 3. He can't use the Death Dealer 3 times because I think he has 2.
3 planes, yeah.
He has 3 planes. Yeah, he has 2 forests and 2 swamp and a jungle hollow only. So
another swamp or a forest will allow the 3rd activation.
So and I think this is super relevant because with a Sandblast in hand, it's exactly the problem that he, if he pumps once, he can then Sandblast and regenerate or pump again. But he can't go pump and regenerate.
And he should know about that. Like he played around the Sandblast, so he can just pump it before attacking with it three times and just put it out of Sandblast range.
Yep, exactly. So, but tough decision: what to attack with, what not to attack with. And he's not really blocking, so he should attack.
Yeah, he's not going to be blocking too much this game, anyways, with the Elite Scale Guard out there. I think he's looking to unmorph.
Yeah, that's also the interesting thing about what we just said about the mana for Rakshasa Death Dealer, because potentially next turn there's a block and the use of the Sandblast from Lucas Blohon. But he also, if Lucas Blohon draws land, he can play an Alpine Grizzly as a chump blocker and have Sandblast mana up, which could be relevant so many plays. This is going really close.
Team can debilitating injury to kill that Alpine Grizzly.
Exactly.
And so on and so forth.
But then he uses black mana.
Yeah.
It's really there's a lot of game to this. And
which would require him to pump pre-combat.
Yeah.
We'll see if he unmorphs here, and also if he pumps the Death Dealer, or if he leaves up something representing maybe a feeder resistance or another spell, or because he can ping with the Archer's Parapet. He's only losing out on 1 damage by not pumping the Death Dealer. Yeah. So now Timothy Simino is already. I don't like this when players do this. He's still only thinking, counting, and he's already putting the mana together to unmorphs. And so it doesn't matter because Nikos is tapped out, but still. You should have made his choice before attacking even.
And so it looks like he's going to pump once. And then unmorph the Woolly Loxodon.
That is an option.
That he has just the right amount of mana to do it.
Yeah.
Does he decide to do it? He should, I think. He would put down Lucas Blohon down to 2, and with an Archer's Parapet also in play.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't. He just
pumped
once.
No, pumped once.
And then he's going to play the debilitating injury to try to guarantee himself 1 more turn using the Parapet end of turn.
Sure. That's also an interesting line.
But that would mean that there's actually 2 lethal creatures on Timothy's side, both the Death Dealer and the Woolly Loxodon.
Timothy can swing back for 9, I think. No, 3, 7. So it also puts Timothy out of range of Awaken the Bear, for example.
Yeah, the Parapet will not be blocking, and it's not even end of turn ping. It's gonna have to be pinging.
Swarm of Bloodflies is a dead draw, basically, because Lucas Blohon doesn't have any black mana, so he would have preferred any end to blend instead, I think.
Yeah, especially now that the injury was played, the Alpine Grizzly is a relevant jumper again.
Yeah, much less relevant.
So what does he keep up the Sandblast to play the Alpine Grizzly?
It's going down to the wire.
Does he attack with both creatures? Just attack with one?
He's probably dead if he attacks with both and doesn't play the Alpine Grizzly, and he's dead in that case anyway. Because yes, because he can then just use whichever creature Nicholas blocks, he'll use the ability on the other one. So either Woollox or Rakshasa Death Dealer.
We might be at a point where he will have to risk. I was gonna say risk blocking with the Scale Guard on the morph, hoping that the Scale Guard would win.
Yeah, he can't afford
fight.
that. He's gonna play the Crusher gear, I think. But how is he going to block? What is he going to block?
Well, it could be 2 chumps, effectively.
So that is getting tapped by the Skill Guard ability. Yep. So down to 7.
He does not respond by tapping out, just obviously keep the regenerate mana up.
Yeah, he needs the black mana, And there's a Feral Crush Shock for Timothy Simino, who has to feel pretty happy about this.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's necessary to keep the mana up there, because if there was a Savage Punch happening, that would probably have happened before combat.
Yeah, well, he did draw another end, which is great, obviously. So unlikely that Timothy Simino will lose here unless he misplays.
he does not have the mana to unmorph and other end, so
Exactly.
he's not killing him this turn either way. So it could be safe to just other end the elite scale guard to be able to block again.
Yep.
You could attack first to see how Nicholas decides to block and maybe force the double chump. It's just looking at what they have in hand. Timothy is winning.
It's like when someone doesn't know how to play Magic, it's like, who's winning? It's really close actually. So other end on the Crush Rock. And what now? Can't really swing with the Morph now. So, well, he could, if he wants, he can risk tap. I mean, he can attack with the Rakshasa Deadly because it's representing lethal, so Nicholas Blohon has to chump, and we'll go down to 4, but then still has the Archer's Parapet. He's leaving himself dead to Awaken the Bear,
yeah.
For example, so.
That's why I think that this line is a bit riskier than just killing the Elite Scale Guard here.
Yep. So, there's the chump block. Yep, regenerates. Maybe he can. Okay. He pumps. I think the Alpine Grid is only a 3/1.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he would activate it twice.
Yeah, me neither. There's the land. So now he has Sandblast and a chump blocker. Is that enough though?
It could be if he blocks the morph, and if Timothy does not play around the Sandblast and has to regenerate the Death Dealer.
Yeah, so there's the Alpine Grizzly. This is going down to wire. Timothy Simon down to 3, and now how can Timothy play? He can only activate 2 times. Did he draw Swamp or Forest?
I think he drew a Death Frenzy.
Okay. I don't think that's relevant though on this board. Here we see what we talked about. Now Timothy can only activate Death Dealer twice.
Yeah.
So if Timothy attacks and uses a +2/+2 on Death Dealer by responding with Sandblast, Nicholas makes sure that he's not losing there. It's really tense.
I mean, this is this is nerve-wracking for Tim. Made a few choices that did not pan out to be the best, but
there were several points where Timothy could have unmorphed the Woolly Loxodon, and I think the game would have been over.
Absolutely. For instance, that first attack, if he unmorphed it there was just nothing that Nicholas could do. But at this point, I mean, you can force your opponent to block the Death Dealer, just regenerate once this time and not activate it 2 times unnecessarily. Then if it's Sandblasted, he can regenerate again. But the Elite Scale Guard tapping one of the blockers, and both of Nicholas's creatures have 4 power. So that puts him dead.
Yeah, it does. So Timothy Simino putting his mana together. This is really interesting. So for those who just joining, the morph on Timothy Simino's side is a Woolly Loxodon, and he neglected to unmorph in some of the previous turns where he could have. Took lines of play that did not make that much sense. Now only attacks with the Woolly Loxodon, which is interesting.
This is a fine attack. It can trade with the Alpine Grizzly and the Sandblast. If he takes it, he's dead. But he should know that it
could be a Woolly Loxodon.
A Woolly Loxodon or a big creature.
So now there's an unmorph Sandblast to kill the Woolly Loxodon. Now the Elite Scale Guard can tap the Parapet and force the Death Dealer to he can just block and regenerate. Yeah, I don't know if he wants to do that though.
I think that's a Savage Punch.
I think so, and if that's Savage Punch, the game's over, right?
It should be.
Nicholas Blohon plays Savage Punch, targets the Death Dealer,
and
makes it big. Attacks for the kill. Does he have it here? Regenerates. Taps down the Archer's Parapet, and that's the game.
Wow.
Nicholas Blohon with the epic top deck of the Savage Punch. Look at that. He's going like, wow, exasperated about this game.
Yeah.
I mean,
and, Timothy is deflated, and Nicholas is he got away with this one.
Yeah, it looked like Timothy got his way around to win that match by doing that attack, because at this point he was safe from the elite scale guard anyway. He could block and regenerate, swing on the turn back.
Top deck 7.